So I don't know what space he was in, but I've seen Sean rap. Like, he's crazy. Like, lyrically, bro, he got moments where he just flat out goes crazy. And he doesn't get a lot of respect as a lyricist, which is interesting.
And it's interesting, and I think it's because, I think it's a couple things. One, I think Big Sean has a very different flow than people are used to hearing.
It's very unorthodox.
It's very unorthodox, and I think that a lot of times rappers who have an unorthodox flow and pocket that they rap in sometimes don't get the same credit for their lyricism that other ones do. I might even give you an extreme example of this.
Okay.
E40.
Very
E40
different.
has a completely unorthodox sound where some people will hear it and be like, I hate this. But if you actually have listened to any of E40's projects, E40 can rap. Like,
for sure.
Can rap well.
Sure. Bay Area legend for a reason.
Bay Area legend. But he raps in such an unorthodox way that when people hear it, it's either you like, oh, this is cool, or you're like, I don't know, he offbeat, I don't like it. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of artists there are several artists who fit into that pocket. And I think Big Sean, just because his flow is a little different, sometimes he doesn't necessarily get the credit that somebody with a more traditional rap style.
And I think that unorthodox flow paired with the fact that he got kind of like sillier. You know what I'm saying?
He does have some songs
sillier
where he goes silly.
And he has kind of like, I noticed because I'm a fan of Big Sean. I've always been pretty much a fan of his since the Finally Famous mixtape days, like
I remember,
to now, essentially.
I've been following Big Sean since you remember the Lemonade freestyle?
No.
I go back that far.
Yeah, okay.
The Gucci Mane's Lemonade.
He freestyled on that?
That was one of his first before I don't even know if he was signed when that came out. Or he might have just got signed.
Okay.
Got a video for it and everything. That's how far I go. I was, look, man, I'm early mixtape days.
Mm-hmm. So I think like that, the sillier records, sillier moments, you know what I mean? And also the fact that he has kind of like an interesting voice too. It's kind of lighter, and he's talked about that in past episodes where it's like a little lighter. It's not built for like obviously like freestyle battling and all.
Yeah,
that
he
stuff,
mentioned that in that interview he just did with Charlamagne. I remember,
and I've heard him talk about it in past interviews from like a decade ago. So I think all those things combined, I think like people are kind of like, I don't know, a little hesitant to hop on board on certain songs more than others, or maybe think of him in a certain light or compare him to like some of the more recognizable, bigger artists. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I think he can out-rap a lot of people.
A lot of people. And the thing is, it's crazy how like our bias to like voices or even like accents plays a role in what type of music that we want to consume.
Very much does.
I can give a couple examples of that. One being, I know some people who can't listen to Kendrick just because they just don't like his rapping voice. They don't like how they think his voice sounds like. They don't like the little voice switching thing that Kendrick does. I think it's dope, but other people hear it and they're like, I don't like it. It's too theatrical for some people. Another one is Big Crit being another one. Some people can't get past his accent.
That southern accent,
that southern drawl of a lot of the country artists. For me, fire. But at the same time, I'm from Chicago. My people from Mississippi. So
exactly.
The way I am hearing it, I understand everything he's saying.
Yeah.
But other people might be like, I don't, and they're put off by just the accent.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely plays a role in what people like.
And that's interesting too, because Biggie is kind of different as his voice, because people don't really think about it. His mom is like, his family is Jamaican, grew up in Brooklyn obviously, and he has kind of like almost like a sluggish, like kind of he's heavy set based on his voice. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it worked for him. And it's odd you talk about the voice switching too, because certain voices work for people now. Like Playboy Cardi has this, they used to call it his baby voice. You know what I'm saying? And he's garnered like a lot of fandom from it. So it's odd how that works.
But the thing is, the same thing that people don't like about you is the same thing that other people love about you.
Will love about you.
So it's the same thing. So the same reason why somebody may say, I don't like Kendrick, he raps too fast, or his stuff is theatrical. Other people are like, oh my God, that's the best. That's the most amazing thing about him as an artist. Yeah. So same thing. Even if you talk about a Drake, there might be somebody who, I don't like this whole, when he first came out at least. He doesn't do it as much now, but going back from the singing, back and forth from singing and rapping, there might be, early on, I remember some people being like, I don't like that. And that was the stuff I liked. I was like, no, I think that's dope that he's going back and forth between singing and rapping on this on some of those early tracks. So
it's interesting because it even goes beyond rap, because they think about that with Prince. With Prince's music, got arrested. So like they used to talk about like, oh, well, I don't know if anybody really took issue with it. I loved his versatility as a musician and a vocalist. You know what I mean?
Prince is the legend.
Come on now.
Look, that's a whole nother conversation, man. The amount of respect I have for Prince as a musician, not only just as a musician, but just the way he maneuvered through the music business is just on another tier. Yeah, man. Shout out to Prince.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, man. I think that and even with comparisons, I think comparing people also sometimes can take away from just enjoying the artistry of somebody. When you're talking about Prince, the first thing that comes up is who's better, Prince or Michael Jackson? I like Michael Jackson better. Their styles are polar opposites.
Polar opposite.
Prince is a rock star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who made some R&B type music, and Michael Jackson is completely pop and R&B ish. You know what I mean? They're on two opposite sides. Yeah. Like they sound absolutely nothing alike. So it's interesting that people just compare them because they're both big. Same thing with J. Cole and Kendrick. Like people compare them because they were the only two who were doing, you know, at the top of their game as far as socially conscious rapping and putting out the bodies of work that they did. But they sound nothing alike.
They don't sound alike. No.
At all.
And we want to see, like, a lot of fans want to see a collaborative album because of their stark differences, what magic could come from that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. But there's no room for comparison in this game, bro. Number one, especially in hip-hop, there's so many artists. And only a few of them are reaching a certain superstar level. So you got to appreciate them rather than kind of pin them against each other. Like, there's no room for that, in my opinion.
Yeah, no. And I think it's you know, it's natural for us to do that. We're a sports-driven culture, so we're always gonna say who's better, this or this. Even with R&B, who sings better, SZA or Summer Walker, or this person or that person. I mean, that's
actually a good discussion. I'm not gonna lie.
SZA or Summer Walker.
You see, I was working.
You see how I worked.
And I was like, dang, we should talk about
I could slap that on the headline, and you would have been like, let me click on that and see
in
what's
a heartbeat.
going on. You know, that's what a lot of people do. So naturally, we do that naturally, but I think just don't let that stop you from enjoying an artist's music. Don't say, oh, well, I think this artist is better, so I'm not going to listen to this other artist's music.
That's the key, because you can listen to both, and it's okay. You know what I'm saying?
It's okay. Yeah. Like just like with the Drake topic, there are Drake songs that I love. It's okay for me to like some of Drake's songs and to also not think that he can be put in a category with a Kendrick Lamar, a Tupac, or
it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
You know what I'm saying? On that note, too, I want to switch gears one more time, man. We got to talk about this Polo G, a Chicago native himself.
Absolutely.
He just released